So, welcome back to the second RPG design Chautauqua. And continuing on our topic of making sorcery mysterious tonight. After the first Chautauqua I put out there, I got some great responses in the comments, and I'd like to shout out a big thank you to everyone who answered. C.W. Chanter came back with a suggestion of bibliomancy and using some words to describe what the results of the spell are, as opposed to just a dice mechanic, and I kind of like that. But again, I'm questioning how mechanically practical that is to maintain narrative flow. Now, Diamante314, he suggested that the dice don't control success or failure. The spell always goes off. But what the dice do is tell you that something happened. Maybe they work with a lookup table and give you a couple of adjectives to describe the effect. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. And then INVG Productions, he suggested, and I thought this was pretty genius. They were all good suggestions, but this one kind of grabbed my imagination. You take some chits, and on one side is a number, which would be the number of planes you visit, and on the other side is the plane name, or the number is the cost to visit the plane, and the other is the plane name, and you use that to weave together decide what the spell does. I kind of like that idea. That seems kind of random and different and mysterious, and that fits the mold of what I'm looking for a mechanic pretty well. Now my old buddy Flame Zombie, another 4D stalwart, he just said, just RP it. And that's the idea here, but I'm looking for some kind of mechanic to give guidance to that RP part of it. And I'm also looking for something, that'll draw that thread out, will kind of prompt that role play, both for the game master describing the effects and for the player describing the process of casting the sorcery spell. So, a lot of good ideas. Prof. Englehart Plays said, again, use the dice not for results, but for adjectives. Maybe a lookup chart. And I kind of like that idea, but what came to me, and this is sort of a synthesis that came to my febrile head from putting all these things together, is maybe have some chits like that was suggested by INVG Productions, and some cards that have adjectives or role-play prompts that match the bibliomancy and the dice for the adjective thing. So you could roll your dice, draw your chits. The dice would tell you which adjectives on the card that you draw to use. The chits tell you what that spell costs you and where you went on it, and maybe work out some kind of role-play mechanic or consequence that plays into what's on the card. And I think those are some pretty good ideas, and I'm still working on that, so I hope other folks will keep the suggestion coming. And those of you who responded already, I want to give you a big RPG design Chautauqua thank you for engaging. You really helped inspire me on this. And to Norton Boxes MD, who says he's struggling like I am to come up with something like this, keep plugging away, and maybe between the two of us we'll come up with something genius. Well, for all you listeners out there, I hope you'll continue to send in some suggestions in the comments to this video, possibly refine it, and I'm hoping by next week, if the Chautauqua schedule stays on schedule, and y'all know how life is, I'm hoping to have something maybe I can give a little demo or show you how it works. In the meantime, I really appreciate you listening. Hope you'll hit that like and subscribe. And keep on sending in those suggestions. I love the community. Have a good evening, all.